Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we look at Sadiq Khan's attempt to make out our proud patriotic veterans are goose-stepping Roman saluting nutjobs for wanting to protect our statues of our past from a rampaging mob.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
I mean, do these people look like wrong-uns? They look like proud Brits to me. This article is titled Black Lives Matter Protest, Sadiq Khan warns London to stay at home, message in full. London Mayor Sadiq Khan has urged Londoners, I'll do your editing for you, Express, to stay at home this weekend as more Black Lives Matter protests are due to take place. Read his message in full here. London was due to see another Black Lives Matter protest hit the streets this weekend, but London Mayor Sadiq Khan has warned people not to take part. Tweeting this morning, he said, to anyone planning to join Black Lives Matter protests over the coming days, for you and your family's safety, please stay at home and find a safe way to make your voice heard. To the extreme far-right groups hijacking this crucial cause, Londoners have no time for your hatred. You see what I mean? Instantly trying to paint anyone that wants to protect our heritage and our history from thugs and mobs and criminal damage and graffiti of far-right extremist groups. You see what I mean by this? Last weekend saw demonstrators clash with the police in London, while in Bristol a statue of slave trader Edward Colson was pulled down and dumped in the city's harbour. Khan said he is extremely concerned that further protests in London, particularly by extreme far-right groups which advocate hatred and division. Sorry, Sadiq, did you not see the riot that was happening in your city? The one you're supposed to protect? Do you not see the injuries that your police were getting from peaceful protesters, was it? From protesters. But anyone that comes to look after the statue is far right. Okay, got you. I think you need to look at your own side for the hatred and division. Oh, and yourself. Look in the mirror maybe. Could lead to violence and disorder. He added he is working with the Metropolitan Police and partners to ensure statues and monuments at risk, including the cenotaph, Winston Churchill and Nelson Mandela. Oh, they're protecting Nelson, are they? Okay, we'll have a look at how they're protecting it in a bit. Are covered and protected. The official Black Lives Matter movement has cancelled the weekend's planned Hyde Park protest, but there are concerns some people could still show up. Well, I think they probably will. His warning comes as new reports reveal violent protesters could be jailed within 24 hours. You see, all of a sudden, when patriots and people that don't like our history being taken down without democratic process, when they want to come out and protest, you could be jailed within 24 hours. But for the last week of protests, no jails, no 24 hours, hardly any arrests. Okay, we've got you. We know what side you're on. The fast-track court plans courts come as Black Lives Matter, BLM and far-right demonstrations are expected this weekend. Anybody caught vandalising, causing criminal damage or assaulting police officers, so that's the left then, could be processed through magistrates court with extended opening hours quickly, according to the Times. The paper suggests, I'd like to see you try and stop the left doing the vandalising and the criminal damage. It won't be the people that are coming to protect stuff that are doing that, will it? You see the framing on this? It's all designed to get the public to think that the far right are the evil ones, when it's not even the far right as far as I can tell. It's just veterans and patriots that don't like things being ripped apart by a mob with no democratic process first. The paper suggests that Justice Secretary Robert Buckland and Home Secretary Priti Patel have drawn up the plans based on the response to the 2011 London riots. Sadiq Khan's message in full. Oh, here we go. Shall we listen to this? This is division in one letter. I stand with the millions of people around the world who are saying loud and clear that Black Lives Matter. Londoners from all ages, races and backgrounds have been coming together to protest racial injustice and structural racism by attacking the police horses. What else have they done? Throwing bricks and stuff at the police, throwing insults. Don't mind so much on the insults. Getting them to take a knee. Sounds like it's a protest for racial injustice, doesn't it? It is clear that the majority of the protesters have been peaceful. Not being funny, but has anyone seen a majority of protests being peaceful? Maybe up until about 6-7 o'clock, and then it all turned ugly, did it not? This moment must be a catalyst for systemic, lasting change to tackle the racism that doesn't exist and inequalities that Black black people still face today in this country and elsewhere. Go and protest in the countries that do have racism though. Let's go and protest in them. But you won't do that, will you? This is all aimed at our country. Why? No idea. No idea. We've not done anything wrong. This is apparently, this is over an unjust killing in America. What's that got to do with us? But anyway, I digress. We'll carry on. However, I'm extremely concerned that further protests in central London not only risk spreading lurgit, but could lead to disorder, vandalism and violence. The disorder and vandalism will most certainly be from the left and Black Lives Matter. The violence may be if they try and attack any of the statues again while the veterans are there. Extreme far-right groups who advocate hatred and division. Have you heard this? This is coming from a man that started his entire letter with hatred and division. Are planning counter-protests, which means that the risk of disorder is high. Be in no doubt these counter-protests are there to provoke violence. Have you heard that? How does he know this? How does he know this? Most of the posts I've seen on Twitter are just people saying this is not how it's done in this country. You don't use mob rule. It's got nothing to do with far right, and their only goal is to distract and hijack this important issue. You could say about the same about the middle class left wingers though, couldn't you? Hijacking Black Lives Matter to bring in all sorts of stupidness, excluding what Black Lives Matter want. If you want to know what that is, go and check out the website, everyone. I'm not going to explain it again. Staying home and ignoring them is the best response this weekend. It won't happen though, will it? Because the left will be out protesting. Well, I say protesting, they'll be attacking the police again, won't they? Any violence or criminal damage from anyone is always absolutely unacceptable and will simply not be tolerated in this city. Unless you're attacking them as part of a left-wing Antifa Black Lives Matter totally peaceful riot. The Met Police is working on a robust policing plan to keep Londoners safe and to prevent disorder. You want to do that, police officer? Protect the bloody statues. Together with our partners, we are ensuring that key statues and monuments at risk, including the cenotaph, Winston Churchill and Nelson Mandela, are covered and protected. And have you seen what they've done? This, in my opinion, is more offensive than letting them spray paint them, because that's the mob. This is the government effectively doing the job of the mob. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it while they keep doing the job of the mob. The mob want these removed and gone. You have effectively hidden them from sight, which is doing the job of the mob, is it not? Police are a joke. Sort them out, pretty. Our police officers are under growing pressure and strain, and 62 have been injured. 62 in these mainly peaceful protests, Sadiq. 62 in a peaceful protest, and you're worrying about the people coming down to stop them. You see where the loyalties lie. Having worked under extremely difficult circumstances over the last week to safely police protests, all at a time when the lurgy still presents a grave threat to them and all of our communities. The protests, you were championing it only yesterday. Don't talk rubbish, man. The protests over the past week have shown just how difficult it is to maintain social distancing in large groups. No, what that actually means is that they don't care about your social distancing. That's what that means. They could quite easily stay 2 meters apart. It just wouldn't be effective, would it? So therefore they ignore you. Why is that? Because they know something that we're not allowed to know, isn't it, Sadiq? Maybe that it's a major overreaction, but we'll see if there's a second spike, won't we? And the risk of spreading the disease at a protest is very real. There have been confirmed new cases among protesters around the world, from the US to Australia, and I fear we will see the same here. They have a right to protest though, don't they? Under our laws, they have a right to peaceful protest, unless you're protesting the lockdown, of course. So please, for yourselves, your family member who may be vulnerable to lurgy, and for the wider causes, please stay at home over the next few days and find a safe way to make your voices heard. Right, so my opinion is this. Are you ready? This rhetoric is extreme and very, very dangerous, in my opinion. It's divisive and it will do this country more harm than any other thing I can think of. This is my worry, and I'm not far right, I'm far from it. Centre right is closer to the mark. I'm not racist, I'm actually colourblind, as I'm sure a large portion of the nation is. But with this protecting the statues, it's exactly what the left want. They want us to go so they can instantly say we are the far right. The police and media and justice system will back them up and treat us differently than for the protesters and violent thugs on the other side, on the left and BLM. Won't take much to kick it off, and the left will instigate it. When that happens, the left gain momentum and start affecting normal centrist people's lives with threats, cancel culture, etc. It started already. They've already taken statues, they've all taken comedy shows. What's next? Eventually, people will want to go back to normal. for all the hate to stop, effectively. And the far right, the actual far right, not who Labour says is far right. We all know Labourites think working class white patriots are that. Will grow quickly. They can't win anything, obviously, but they can put pressure on the Tories like the UKIP did over Brexit. We've already seen the outrage from the public over the ripping down of statues. Just because it's mob rule more than anything else, it should be done democratically. If you have, say, just as an example, 500,000 people in a city and you want to take a statue down, if you get more than 250,000 signatures on a petition, it should come down, in my opinion, whether the rest like it or not. Majority rule. But like I say, the people are getting angry, aren't they? And the left will attack anyone with a differing opinion, which is most of the country, isn't it? Don't forget the people voted Tory massively. They obviously didn't get Conservatives though, eh? Now, in my opinion, extreme far left and the extreme far right are both cheeks of the same arsehole and are fringe. But the identity politics being levelled at people solely based on the skin colour from the left is going to force everyone to one side or the other. The left attack each other's lives. They do it regularly. The right don't. It's an easy choice. Enemy of my enemy is my friend logic. You see where I'm going with this? This is dangerous, and Labour and the radical left don't care, or it doesn't seem to. They're championing it. They're championing racial division for political gain, and we suffer for it. On both sides, even the actual peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters, who are in their right to protest if it's peaceful. We're all going to suffer for this. It's going to push us all to the fringes. I was brought up on Martin Luther's wise words and was colourblind because of him. We're ignoring his message. I don't want communism or fascism. The left will destroy us all, in my opinion. But let me know what you think. Do you think this is a really dangerous route that we're going down here? What do you suggest? Do you think that going to protect the statues is going to do any favours for sanity whatsoever? Because, I mean, it's normal people that are going to protect it, but they've already started trying to smear them and telling them they'll put them in jail within 24 hours. The line's already been drawn, hasn't it? And I'm worried if the centrists like myself start being pushed to the fringes, it's going to get extremely ugly, and I want this to stop. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Share it out if you're not new and you want to help the channel. Guys, it really helps me out, and I'll see you on the next one.